calorie I get in return for spending so much time on these videos. So how does this super short synthesis look like? The key bond disconnection that this synthesis is based on is an intramolecular Heck reaction, which creates the key vinyl bond that is present in LSD. This Heck approach towards LSD is actually not an invention of the 2023 synthesis, as it had been used in previous, more lengthy syntheses already. However, the route we are discussing very efficiently traced the intermediate back to this indole containing an aldehyde, which lends itself to nucleophilic addition and a bunch of other functionalizations we'll look at in a second. This starting material is very convenient as it already has the bromo group required for the Heck reaction and can be bought commercially. Obviously, the starting material-based approach makes a lot more sense than unnecessarily taking apart the indole ring further. Let's now look at the detailed reactions of the synthesis. The first step was a magnesium halogen exchange of this iodopyridine to create a heterocyclic nucleophile. It is very happy to attack the electrophilic carbon of the functionalized aldehyde, leaving a hydroxyl group in the product. As you might remember, there is no oxygen in lysergic acid at this position, so the next step simply remove this group by reduction with triethylsilane. The acid used in this step removed the N-Bok protecting group, so they reinstalled that afterwards. After this protection, the most nucleophilic group is the pyridine nitrogen, so it was methylated with methyl triflate. This gave a pyridinium salt, which was reduced with sodium borohydride. Two hydride equivalents are accepted by the ring.
That is
The
so
first
great.
one gives the reduced tertiary
You're
amino
happy
part of
again,
lysergic
huh?
acid, and the second hydride
Yes,
reduces
go
one of the double
on.
bonds, leaving an alpha-beta unsaturated ester. All of this happened in the same reaction vessel, so the authors were a bit sneaky and categorized it as just one single step. Now you might think, wait a second, to enable the key Heck coupling reaction, the olefin actually needs to be located at the other carbon, which would require an isomerization. They achieved this by using lithium TMP as a very strong base,
Should
giving
be
the
a crab under
isomerized
there.
anion, which can be protonated in a diastereoselective
He's
manner.
back
The
there.
desired
Right
isomer is the one where the ester is on the same side as the existing hydrogen of the 6
there. The gorilla crab
while
under
the
there.
preference of this reprotonation
Maybe
is
it came in as
evaporated,
plankton.
formed in slight excess over the
Zooplankton.
undesired one. Conveniently, it can be recycled.
So I would have seen him if he was hitchhiking, but and I ain't bought nothing really for him to hitchhike on. I ain't throwing there for a while. It's crazy.
Oxidative addition of palladium
These
zero
two.
allowed for olefin
What's going
insertion
on?
and creation of the CC bond here in blue. Now, given there are two beta
I just got
hydrogens
him too
available,
today, that
there are
little
two
foul fish.
pathways towards
I literally just
elimination.
put him in there with the
There's orange
clownfish.
hydride elimination
And this
the
one was
pink
always
one,
hiding.
which is preferred in a rough
Since the other
1
one
to
died
3
and was real
ratio.
skittish.
Note that the
And now
stereochemistry of
that
the
you
ester
got that
was
one, look,
partially
he's
lost in the
all
orange
happy
product.
screwing.
As this reaction was performed at 100 degrees with mild base, some isomerization
I'm
took
just waiting
place.
for this guy
Even
to
though they now ended
figure
up
this
with
one
3
out.
different products, it was no big deal. They simply threw them all together with some potassium hydroxide and heated things up to get to lysergic acid in around 50% yield. This is a double deprotection and isomerization sequence. Natural products usually correspond to stable isomers, so it's not surprising that the isomerization forms the configuration present in lysergic acid preferentially. Unfortunately, their final product is not so satisfying as they only isolated a brown salt. So I don't suggest supplying this to one of the dangerous dealers in the neighborhood. I've seen some procedures getting to nice white crystals of lysergic acid, but these folks didn't care too much about ultra-pure product. Lastly, they showed that the synthetic route could be useful to explore and study LSD analogs. Remember the methoxy-substituted DMT structures at the start? They started with a chloral-substituted starting material and replicated all the reactions, including the Heck, created C12 chlorolysergic acid derivative. Now you could envision creating different LSD analogs by converting the aryl chloride into other functional groups, such as methoxy groups, which might help scientists find future drugs based on lysergic acid with differentiated therapeutic profiles. That was it for this short and sweet video already. I hope you were all able to take away some nice learnings. If you liked it, please subscribe, leave a comment, activate notifications, and consider becoming a channel member. Thank you, and until next time. Hello everyone, and a warm welcome to an exciting synthesis video. Today we will learn some intriguing history on molecular propellers and organic chemistry as a whole, and laugh at how chemists with inflated egos shaped some of the nomenclature that we use today. Towards the end, we will dive into a total synthesis masterpiece and some reaction mechanisms. This last part will be a bit more advanced, but you will definitely enjoy the initial stories in chemistry, even if you are a complete
I think I might get another one of him.
synthesis
And
wizard.
then two of
Our journey
the
starts with Taxol, a
a
highly
white one and a
complex
black one.
anti-cancer natural product that was first isolated from the endangered Pacific yew in the 1960s. A decade later, researchers recognized its immense clinical potential when they discovered that Taxol could disrupt cell division. Over the 1990s, Taxol evolved to be one of the most essential drugs isolated from natural sources, hitting over $1.5 billion sales in 1999 as a chemotherapy drug. Taxol itself was a fiercely contested target, drawing the attention of over 30 academic research groups working on its total synthesis by 1992. Taxol syntheses have been reviewed extensively, for example in Casey Nicholas' Classics in Total Synthesis work. Instead of beating this to death, we will spend our time with another interesting thought. What happens if we up the ante, take the already colossal Taxol framework and introduce 3 random additional carbon-carbon bonds between centers? What might remind you of these houses that you drew without lifting your pencil when you were a small child is actually a legitimate molecule called Canatex propylene, first isolated from the needles of the Canadian yew in 2007. Although it looks funny, Canatex propylene is no joke. This molecule really checks all the boxes.
Yeah, give me a tripod stand for the GoPro, I think, and run some hyperlapses on this thing.
Contiguous tertiary and quaternary spherocenters, only 2 non-neopentyl positions in the entire carbon framework, and some nice hydroxyl groups.
Somebody dive in that thing, man.
This has to be one
That
of
thing's like
the
6
most
times the house
complex
work.
natural product that has ever been isolated, excluding gigantic stuff like
If it was the
mycotoxin.
Clarky, he'd already be in it. Be fighting people, keeping them away from it. Trying to feed somebody to it already.
This is coupled with the fact that similar to its sibling Taxol, isolation from the Canadian yew has extremely low yields and thus does not allow biological or pharmaceutical investigations in this potentially valuable compound. It could be, and to be honest, this is highly likely, that Canatex propylene only looks funny and is actually medicinally useless. However, it could also be the key to a Taxol 2.0. Even if a fully chemical synthesis would not be viable for commercial production of a medicine, synthetic investigations are a prerequisite for structural activity relationship studies and could bring novel
more
insights
colorful
to
now,
understanding of biochemistry, cellular biology, and reaction methodology. Before we proceed,
Sounds
I
like
want to
half
take a
his
brief
size.
moment to thank all of you
They
for
grew
the
pretty quick,
lifelong
huh?
support and interest for this channel.
Remember this thing used to have Aptasia all over it, man, and he just wiped it all out. So amazing.
Really brought up the channel's visibility. I'm quite busy professionally, which is why making time
Not
for
bad.
these videos is
Oh, there he
challenging,
goes.
but I will stay committed to this channel and aim for more frequent uploads than just once a
Wow,
week.
foul fish over using them
let's stop spinning our wheels and propellers.
that
First,
anemone
we will
glue
dive
stuff
into
and
some
all that.
background before
The
dissecting the
injection
photosynthesis of
USB.
Canatex propylene in detail. Because if you don't understand what a propylene is, you will embarrass yourself when you try to tell your friends at the bar about the amazing synthesis of Canatex propylene that you watched online. Propylenes are hydrocarbons that consist of 3 carbon rings that share a common carbon-carbon bond, also called a bridge, here always in red. They come in various flavors depending on the size of the carbon rings. In most cases, propylenes are highly strained, making them very reactive and unstable. Prior to the synthesis of the smallest 1,1,1 propylene in 1982 by Wilbur, there was much debate regarding whether or not such a 1,1,1 propylene could exist, let alone be successfully prepared and isolated. There has been significant research into propylenes, particularly around the character of their central bridge bond, which displays a very diverse reactivity ranging from electrophilic, radical, and nucleophilic pathways. Even though propylenes look too exotic and cute to be of any value, they are, for example, very useful for introducing yet another weird-looking structure.
They got them together, that means they'll be friends.
PCP group under strain
We're messing with
a
them.
common way to do this are photo conditions and radical chemistry, but there are also nucleophilic or electrophilic alternatives. This PCP group is employed in drug
They were acclimating into something together in the bag, seeing each other, so that's probably what it was too.
Physical chemical characteristics characteristics that might be
put the
favorable
file
for
in first and then did the
a
clone
medicinal
phase.
lead compound. A prime example for this is this investigational drug from Pfizer that saw an improved potency and enhanced pharmacological profile upon substitution of the phenyl ring with a BCP group. Although rare, propylene structures occur in nature, but can
One used to have like lines in it, like that one was
clearly, propylanes
that's
are
that
not
one
only
that
nice
got
chemicals, but also provide a
whole
valuable
structure
playing
almost
field to learn more about physical chemistry, synthetic methodologies, and drug design. Let's briefly go back in time to better understand some of the history of propylanes and finally look at some chemical reactions. The first propylane started to
right away. It started
during the
changing.
1930s. These were the times of initial investigations into 4+2 cycle additions, most notably the Beer-Folder reaction, and the times where you had the pleasure to decipher nice molecular drawings such as this one. The first design synthesis of a propylene was executed much later in 1965 after 3 calmer decades to a simple intramolecular Dishman synthesization. Although